Am I a perfectionist? Well, it bothered me that my hand was there when I started this video. Am I a perfectionist? Are you a perfectionist? Are we all perfectionists? I would have said no for the majority of my life. If somebody sat me down and said, "Do you believe deep down you have perfectionistic tendencies?" I would have said no. Because I have always associated being a perfectionist with things being in order, things being clean, things being uh, kept well together, uptight, appearance based type of energy. And I wear sweatpants sometimes to restaurants where the meals cost more than $15. And so to me, that's not a perfectionist. A perfectionist wouldn't skip trash night. And sometimes I forget that it's trash night and the trash doesn't go out. So, no, I've never viewed myself as a perfectionist, but I was at lunch with a old professor from college who is a doctor. She is brilliant, might I add, and she studies psychology. We'll just put it that way. And we were actually talking about YouTube and talking about my other channel. And I mentioned something about my goals and managing all of that. And she said something to the effect of, well, your perfectionism, something, something. And I said, what? And she's like, well, you're a perfectionist. I said, no, I'm not. And she goes, and she gave me this look like, there's no way you are not a perfectionist. And I was like, I'm not. Like, a perfectionist has to make sure everything is perfect. I don't need everything to be perfect. I just don't want anything to be wrong. And she was like, I said, no, you're misunderstanding me. A perfectionist needs all their ducks in a row. I just don't want my ducks to be out of line. Like, I don't care if my ducks are in a row, but I don't want people being like, what's up with that dude's ducks? Something's not quite right with his ducks. I want my ducks to blend in. How about that? I don't want them to be in a row. I want my ducks to blend in. And she was like, that's a perfectionist, right? And I said, no. A perfectionist needs everything perfect. I don't need everything perfect. I just don't want anything wrong. And I just kept saying that. And I was like, well, now that you say that, maybe I am, but I've never considered myself a perfectionist. So we are back with Psychology Today. This is the same website I used when I was trying to figure out if I had ADHD. And I did not, or at least I only had half of it. I just had the AD. I don't think I have hyperactivity, but maybe attention sometimes. And someone actually commented in that video and said, Psychology Today is probably not the best thing to use. I'm going to keep it consistent. I'm going to use it today for this, and we're going to roll with it. So let's go through this. It's 20 questions. We're going to find out if I'm a perfectionist. Feel free to play along at home. Open up a second browser, a second tab. If you're watching on your mobile device, it's going to be rather difficult to go back and forth. Actually, they have that picture-in-picture thing now. That's awesome. You can just watch me in a little frame while you do this. I think I should have done better on every task I complete. I wouldn't say always. There are times where I am satisfied, but I would say more times than not. I take the time to make my work flawless. No. See, that's where I'm not a perfectionist. There are times where I would, but more often than not, no. When I work on a task, I fixate on the possibility of failing at it. Yeah, always. Always. I'm always worried about failing. I don't want to fail ever. I plan everything out. Yes. To some degree. Everybody plans to. That's not very clear. I like to have a plan. But I wouldn't say I'm like planning obsessive. When I sat down to make this video, I had an idea of how it was going to go, but I didn't write down what I was going to say, perhaps. So I do plan everything out, but I don't, it's not super structured. We'll say that. It is a problem to be considered average at something. No, of course not. It's not a problem to be considered average. It would be good to be considered average at something because you could be considered bad at it. It's not you can't be good. You can't be above average at everything. That's just impossible. No. When other people are more successful than me, I feel second rate. Second rate is a weird word, and it depends on the people. When certain people are more successful than me, I would maybe get jealous. When other people, no. Right in the middle. It's very case by case. I feel inferior if I don't set very high standards of myself. No, no, I, no, I don't. I've never really been a high standard setter. I've tried to accomplish things that I think are valuable, but as far as standards go, I don't set them very high. And I definitely don't feel inferior if I don't even set my standards high. I easily forgive myself when I make a mistake. No, no. And that might be the Christian guilt, but I'll say never. As a child, I felt I had to be in first place all the time. Oh, I don't even have to think about that. Yes. As a child, in school, yes. When a schoolmate or colleague does a better job, I know I can still be successful. Yeah, I think that's true. Not always true, but true. I see shoddy work everywhere. Hey, shoddy. What? Shoddy with that work. Shoddy put that thing to work. Okay, I don't know what that means. I probably shouldn't say that. Shoddy meaning like bad, like, less than ideal. No, I wouldn't say I just have an eye for shoddy work. People tell me that my standards are too high. No. I'm afraid of not measuring up in my own eyes. Yeah. Yeah. I avoid comparing myself to others. No, I compare myself to others constantly. People tell me I'm a perfectionist. Usually no. Had not experienced that until this lunch with the professor. That was the first time. So not always, not never. One in your life is probably right in the middle. I spend a lot of time making sure my work meets my own standards, sometimes at the expense of deadlines. No, you can never not meet a deadline. If there is a deadline, that is the priority, even if it is substandard. The priority is the deadline. So, no. But I didn't put it here because standards are important. I would try to do both. I think it's important to hold oneself to the highest standard at all times. I mean, doesn't everyone think that? I don't feel like I overly feel that. So, meh. I get irrationally mad. No, I never get mad. I don't, mad is not the right word. I don't get angry. If I don't meet my own standards, maybe I have some guilt, some sadness, some irritability, but not mad. No. I procrastinate on important work for fear of not doing it well. I don't think that's why I procrastinate if I procrastinate. So we'll say no. I feel second rate when other people are more intelligent than me. No, actually, I like that. I like that I'm around people who have more intelligence than me because I feel like I can just ask them a bunch of questions and learn things. So, no. Okay, we're gonna go with a random zip code. Last time we ended up in Oklahoma. That's the Oklahoma number. It's saved. Why it's never saved my zip code is beyond me. Let's see where we can end up. Let's go with 67415. I'm gonna guess Utah. We're gonna go with Salt Lake City. Somebody let me know in the comments where we are. Score test. Let's see what we do. Okay. Neither low nor high. There you have it, 60 out of 100. So I'm more perfectionistic than I am ADHD, according to Psychology Today. You are an adaptive, positive perfectionist. You are somewhat concerned about being a total failure. Yeah, that's what I told my professor. If you don't meet your goals, you're neither overly perfectionist nor disinterested in doing your best. You can be described as adaptive or positive perfectionist rather than a maladaptive one. Okay, what to know? Yeah, so okay, no, I'm not okay, yeah. So let's see where we ended up. If we search now for therapists. Oh, I don't remember what we typed in. It's over. Somebody's going to have to let me know. Okay. Good heavens. Maybe it's this candle. Spice. So there you go. Not a perfectionist. Don't have ADHD. Let me know what test I should do next because it's important to explore your body. Your mind.